there was Kavad happening and 2-year-old girl was raped and killed. I was driving back and I saw one woman getting beaten up brutally by the partner or husband, whosoever, in the middle of the road. He was brutally hitting her. I just stopped my car. I wanted to intervene, but this guy had some weapon in his hand. Because as Indian, as society, we are very immune to such things and we just walk by. I don't know how to show my emotions to each and every mother whose daughter has been raped.
At Asianet News, it is an absolute privilege for us to welcome Yogita Bhayana for this conversation today. She is an anti-rape activist and the driving force behind the charitable foundation PARI, which is People Against Rape in India. Yogita, I want to thank you for all of your efforts and the efforts of all the activists globally who work tirelessly to provide justice to rape victims. So thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yogita, I want to start by asking you, whenever I listen to your conversation and whenever I see you with the family of victims or speaking about this issue largely, I always see that you not only focus on the criminal justice system, but you talk about more issues such as systemic patriarchy and, focus on institutional reforms. And it shows that somehow you have this eye to look at the bigger picture and to look at our society, what actually is plaguing our society. If you can talk about your journey, how have you become, an activist fighting for this cause?
So, as I have been talking on other panels as well, and you must have heard that everybody knows the problem. Even you will, as women, really understand. We all face since our childhood, as women also, as children also, very prone to abuse. So we have all been through this. It's not that it's been only my journey or my understanding. I think all of us understand this. But when I started interacting with victims and little children who are like survivors of sexual violence and the families of survivors and the victims who are not even with us, in terms of they were brutally gang raped and killed, so their families, what they go through. So at the same time, because that was the frustration, that why we are not able to change it and stop it. So let's focus on prevention. At the same time, they also need your full attention. They need, because they are mostly underprivileged and they don't know what is happening to them. They can't even seek for their justice. And you just mentioned that I help them getting justice. So I would say that I don't help them getting justice, because justice is such a far-fetched dream in this country. So none of them get justice. First injustice happens to them when their children, or when they go through such brutal abuse, and after that the process itself is so criminal. So I would say that they never get justice. What justice they can get. So unfortunately, these are the things we are talking about. When the case has happened already, the brutality has happened. I really want to get into the depth, as you mentioned, that we need to dig into the, kind of details, why it is happening, what is the reason, what is the main source. So we are trying to work on that, and otherwise we are not going to change. Every day we'll have cases and we'll keep discussing. That's the reason we need to get deeper into it.
Right. So, Yogita, you talk about change, and you rightly said that, we talk about change, but it's not happening on ground level. I mean, you have been yourself part of so many anti-rape movements. For example, Nirbhaya, there was a lot of grassroots activism. Then we have Abhya, where we saw protests like Reclaim the Night. But then after a few days, all of this, the intensity kind of recedes. So nothing is happening. I mean, it gets media attention, but then after a couple of days, it just kind of recedes.
Because immunity building, because as Indian, as society, we are very immune to such things and we just walk by. And Nirbhaya, I don't know what happened before that. Also, a lot of Nirbhayas were happening. After Nirbhaya, again, a lot of Nirbhayas are happening. But that particular case shook the entire nation. Whatever reason, I really don't know, because I was so closely associated with this case. Till now, I have not got my answer. Maybe some divine power wanted some intervention to happen. But unfortunately, we all become immune and people just forget, and they move on, because They don't know how many outrages one can do. This is like doctor's block. They do surgeries every day and then they say, okay, it becomes normal for them. Media, activists, NGOs, they all become immune in terms of even the people per se. The apathy, the sympathy becomes very, you know, immune in terms of very just superficial. I don't know how to define that, but at the same time, how do we justify each case and how do we show our emotions? Even I feel so sick dealing with so many cases on daily basis. I don't know how to show my emotions to each and every mother whose daughter has been raped, or each victim I meet. I really want to give that love to each victim, but at the same time, my mind just blows. I don't know what to do. So I understand how many outrages one can expect from society like India, where we are so much used to moving on. We forget what happened yesterday.
Right. So, Yogita, just now you talked about your own personal experiences, like whenever the victim's family members are hugging you and they're crying in front of you. I want to know from you, as a anti-rape activist, does it sometimes, take away your sleep whenever you come back?
It is every case, every case.
How do you
That's
deal
why
with this
exactly I'm
then?
saying. It is very traumatic. It definitely takes toll on my health and mental health. But yes, that's the reason I'm starting this program, because um, it will somewhere down the line affect me, and it is affecting me. So I want to create more, kind of change makers in terms of why I run one short course where I tell how to assist a victim. It is not a rocket science. It just needs some human touch in terms of some emotional touch, so that you can divide the work. And there are so many victims just waiting to hug you. Honestly, they know they have lost whatever they had, in terms of, because we deal with a lot of brutal cases where the children are killed. So they know they have nothing more to lose. They have already lost. What they need is just little love, empathy, emotions, and hand holding and hope. So I can't be omnipresent everywhere. So that's the reason we run this program. It's because each and every mother whose daughter has been raped and killed, the father itself, like, they need some kind of emotional connect. So I wish every such case gets a shoulder. So yes, it is very difficult, very traumatic for me personally, but at the same time I have to put a brave face and I have to assure them that you will get justice. Internally I know that they will never get justice. I'm so sorry, but I'm being very blunt. But
Yeah.
yes, somewhere some hope has to be shown to them.
And talking about hope, do you think that your campaigns and the initiatives that you've taken, Nari Ke Do Din and other forums, do you see any outcome for them? Or do you think that
It's a
they're
very slow
largely...
process.
Hmm.
No, definitely that they will have impact when they discuss these issues in the parliament. And I have been writing to our parliamentarians or speakers, especially for last 5 years, more than that. So every year, at least I told them do it during March. So every year I get revert that, okay, we'll consider your request. It's not my request. It's not for my sake. It is for the sake of 50% of the population and for their safety. So I don't know when will that happen, but yes, people are talking about it. You have picked up and you're discussing it. So yes, it will take time. We need to have patience as women. I know this is a slow process to bring about a change. I'm sure it will happen one day. And also, I'm running a mission. This is called Mahila and Bal Suraksha Mission 2029. We were hoping that government should announce such a mission, where they announce some 5-year goal, 10-year goal to make India safer for women and children. So we decided to do it on our own, and we started it in tributing to Nirbhaya on 16 December 2024, last month. And we are going to take this forward as a mission to make India safer for women and children.
Yeah, and there are so many, topical issues also. But I want to talk about the violence which also takes place around Holi. I mean, studies have shown that incidents rise during this time also. A lot of sexual violence and harassment cases. What do you have to say to people who are going to celebrate Holi in a couple of days?
Every festival for that matter. A few months ago, there was Kavad happening, and 2-year-old girl was raped and killed. Around that. I don't want to say that some particular group has to be blamed for it, but it happens mainly during celebrations, so-called celebrations, religious celebrations. Holi, I got a case of 8-year-old girl who was raped and killed brutally. If I tell you the brutality, you won't be able to sleep. So I'm not going to talk about that. But this little girl was only 8-year-old, and she was raped after Holi celebration because these people were high on bhang, and this little girl was also playing Holi outside. This happened in Bihar, in a village. Who is going to get justice for this girl? So yes, I agree with you. One has to be very responsible, especially in India, when you just can do anything and get away in the name of celebration, especially in religious context. I think it should go. They have to be responsible no matter what. They have to be more patrolling, but unfortunately we are not ready. In Diwali we pollute the environment, we harm animals, and again a lot of things happen. So Holi, because it is justified to have drinks which will make you high and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your soft targets are kids and women. So I think this tradition has to go, or you have to have responsibility of drinking and not going out or venturing out, or have policing or patrolling.
A lot of cases are also happening because there are so many dead zones, camera dead zones, where when kids are going, or any innocent is going, for example, from school to home, there are so many blind spots,
dark spots.
Yeah, exactly. So why there is no patrolling, or there is nothing being done about that, especially in rural
That's the answer
area?
even I'm looking at. I'm also asking for this number because that is not the priority of our system or any authority. I'm not blaming particular government, all the governments, because nobody asked them why were you not patrolling. I just give you one example. I was driving back and I saw one woman getting beaten up brutally by the partner or husband, whosoever, in the middle of the road. He was brutally hitting her. I just stopped my car. I wanted to intervene, but this guy had some weapon in his hand. I still wanted to. The moment I wanted to get down, I saw a police van coming. So I just told them, attend to it. So because they were equipped to handle. So I thought, now the police van is here.
Yeah.
So they just said, okay, ma'am, we are looking into it. And they were just waiting for me to pass. And I deliberately did that. And they did not do anything. They just moved. They said, इनका घर का मामला है, घरेलू मामला. I said, घरेलू मामला नहीं है, ये सड़क पर हो रहा है.
Exactly.
It's happening on the street.
Yeah.
So their mindset have to change. If they think husband is beating the wife is normal, what will patrolling do?
Yeah, and just going one step ahead of that, talking about judiciary, I mean, look at Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh. He just is keep on getting paroles. Like he has gotten it for multiple times since his conviction now. What do we have to do about these kind of cases?
See, again, it's a system failure. As I said, no, police is part of the system. Judiciary is also very much part of the system. And do not assume that they are educated, they clear some exams and they become very good human beings. Unfortunately, not. They are also from the same patriarchal mindset. You have seen so many judgments coming from judges, which are very gender insensitive, very stupid, I would say. So just passing one exam doesn't make you intelligent and human. So if I have to compare one constable who has no knowledge about, or no empathy or upbringing, how to treat a woman and how to be a nice person or a gender sensitive person, I would equate the judges also. I don't think so they get any gender sensitization training. That's the reason gender sensitization training is also equally important for the people like judges and also for the police investigation officers to all spheres of life, including us. Everybody should get gender sensitization in schools, basic. So it doesn't matter, what is the background. So they are all part of the system. Right. So Gurmeet Ram Rahim is getting bail. Corruption is another reason. We can dig more into it.
Yeah.
But generally influential people like him, they do get away.
Okay, I just want to close this conversation by asking you about the online spaces that we have created for our children. And these spaces are now being used to exploit their mental health. I mean, they are looking, whenever even I, open my feed, I randomly get some video where it's it's possibly it's humanly impossible to unsee that for the entire day.
This is a very big problem. I think it's really going elsewhere if we don't control it now. And Information Technology Ministry also knows the same, and people who are getting the license also know the same. But no, nothing will happen because there is some money floating somewhere. Some mafia is operating. Unfortunately, there is a huge market for that. You can include OTTs also. Okay, in OTT you go and subscribe and then you watch, but unfortunately whatever you get on your phone, you can't unsee, as you said somewhere, it just comes out. So I think here the government only can do that, and they can do that in no time. If they want, they can just do it in a fraction of seconds. They can just press a button, they can ban such things, but it will not happen. Money is involved, a lot of interest is involved. So let's let's see if they get little mandate or pressure from the people, or the kind of civil societies. I think that's the reason everybody should collectively write, and we ran a campaign on that. I am part of one campaign where we are raising our voice against this, and we are the only group which is like very actively raising the voice against this.
Right. So every Women's Day, we talk about these issues. So hopefully, your voice reaches more people in authorities, in power, and they are able to do something about these issues. And hopefully, next Women's Day, we are not talking about them and maybe talking about some real reforms that have taken place. So thank you so much once again, Yogita, for speaking with us. Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.